Hi, how's it going? So today I'm Bruce the Monk. I'm going to take a really quick look. I'm going to make the very first pro-life answers to pro-choice arguments because I got thrown a lot of pro-choice arguments today. And people who gave them to me are people I respect and they deserve a reply. So I'm just going to dive right in. I don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to be relatively brief. I have a vague feeling there's going to be enough feedback that this is not going to be the only video on the topic. Alright, so first objection. I believe it is wrong for men to legislate factors that affect only women. I don't believe it's wrong for anybody to legislate in the best interest of somebody else, and I think it's rather sexist to determine whether or not you can pass a law based on your genitalia. Furthermore, let's take a look at the claim that abortion law only affects women. Just to start off, half of the people that you're killing are statistically male. So, there's here in America 20,000 dead boys in addition to the 20 million dead boys in addition to the 20 million dead girls. Externally of the victims of the killing, then you have I think it's quite psychologically inaccurate to say that taking the father of a child and killing his, having him legally and physically helpless as you kill his child without his consent or information, and then having him spend a lifetime dealing with the grief of the murdered baby is perhaps not insignificant. Might actually, I'm going to go so far as to say that might affect him. Um, and then there's the idea that that only affects women. There's also the societal effects. There's simply no way of measuring how much raw human potential in terms of ingenuity, social contributions, the arts, the humanities, and music that the murdered children could have provided for us and for our future generations. Additionally, there is, particularly in Christianity, the concept of national morality, right? A people or a country can be moral or immoral, or can be guilty or innocent. And when we are we are silently destroying more lives than all of Nazi Germany did in World War II, but we're doing it dispersed as opposed to concentrated, I don't see that makes us less guilty. So I don't believe that the factors affect only women is true because half the victims are male. All of the fathers are male, and they also have to deal with the psychological and social effects. And society is both 50% male and female. They're all entitled to the human resources that the murdered children represent. And then there's the question of not just the resources, but also the the zeitgeist, the collective conscience of society. I know many people find it quite agonizing, torturous, and they feel quite a lot of pain over their inability to stop the killing of children, and being forced to pay for it. All right, men frequently do not engage in their part of preventing the pregnancy. Men are also often the perpetrators of unwanted pregnancy. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that with the sole exception of Jesus Christ, men are always the perpetrator of pregnancy on one level or another. That being said, the irresponsibility of someone does not give me the right to kill someone else. I have no ethical objection to birth control, but by the time there is a baby, you've already failed that, and you don't get to kill someone to amend your mistakes as a general ethical principle. Let's see. And then there's the question of fetal development at 12 weeks. Which is what kicked this off as a picture of a 12-week-old fetus. So first trimester, and 12 weeks is the end of the first trimester. So let's go through what we've already had. I don't really want to do this, honestly, because people's level of development doesn't determine the value of their life. If I don't believe in, say, the Nazi eugenics program or their mass killing of of the handicapped and the elderly, simply because those who are at the end of lifespan development or have a developmental disability are not worth less as human beings than those of us who have a more normal developmental. That being said, let's dig into exactly what amount of development we have. So by week 5, we've got differentiated layers. Baby's heart and circulatory system are formed. I believe, let's see, week 6, rapid growth, neural tubes, beginning of the brain and spinal cord. From the neural tube, heart and organs are forming. The beginnings of arms and shape. Baby 7, week 7. The brain and face are growing, meaning you've got a functioning brain going on there that abortion would end. Let's see. By week 8, we've got a nose, and we've got nose, fingers, ears, eyes, upper lip and nose. You've got a neck. Week 9, you've got toes. You've got not the chin hasn't really formed, but you have visible eyes and eyelids, toes. We've got a detectable heartbeat by this point. Functioning elbows at week 10. And the baby can now bend his or her elbows. So we've got something that's so alive that it's moving itself. Which, when I look at something and it's made out of animal matter and it's moving, I'm going to go with it's alive. Alright, toes and fingers lose their webbing, become longer, eyelids and external ears continue to develop, umbilical cords visible. Week 11, baby's head, the body's starting to catch up with the head. The face is broad, the eyes are separated. The beginnings of teeth, it's starting to make its own red blood cell in its liver. We've got external genitals and about 2 inches, and by week 12, we're even starting fingernails, more discernible face, we're developing intestines. So we've got brain waves, we've got a heart, we've got an own internal blood supply. It's moving itself. I'm going to say it's a living human being because genetically it's human, it's alive, it's moving. So those are my opening responses to the pro-choice questions. And I hate that term because the only choice that really ever is for abortion. So the pro-abortion arguments, those are the pro-life arguments, pro-life answers to the pro-abortion arguments I've received tonight. So I'm going to put this up on Facebook and link it to the appropriate parties. Thank you for taking a little bit of my time. And I look forward to the inevitable raging that is going to go on in the comments. And I will make replies as we go.